Hi, my friends. Welcome to my little bookish corner of the internet. I am so glad you guys are back, and I'm glad to be back. So now, for this video, I have a 15 bookish Q&A questions that I wanted to share with you guys. And that way, you guys, we can get to know each other a little bit more mutually. So let's get into it. So I have, like I said, I have 15 questions that I would love to go ahead and answer with you guys. Um, so without wasting any more time, let's get into the first question. The first question being, what was the book that made you fall in love with reading? That is so easy for me to answer because honestly, Akatar. Akatar was my very first book series that I read as an adult. I was recommended to read the book the series by a coworker who I at the time worked with, and she was reading it. She was already a few books in when I started it, but honestly, I regret absolutely nothing. Okay. I will say that when I started reading this series, I was like, the first book, I was like, bro, I don't think I'm gonna like this series. Like, I honestly was the biggest Tamlin lover for the longest time reading the first book. And as it progressed, obviously things changed. But for me, Akatar, 1,000%. I will always be grateful to my coworker, Monica. Shout out to you, girl. Because it was because of that book series that I fell in love again. So, yeah, that would be mine. The next question is physical books, e readers, or audiobooks? I love all three. I do. I love all three. But physical books are my absolute go-to. I, just just having the book physically in my hands makes my heart 1,000% happy. And don't get me wrong, I love reading on Kindle, which by the way, I don't have a Kindle, but I have been thinking about it because I feel like I have been reading a lot. And I've been reading a lot on my phone, which kind of is the reason why I want to get a Kindle because low key, my eyesight is already, it's bad. But I feel like reading on my phone is only making it 10 times worse. So we're trying to steer away from that. But we'll talk about that in another time. But um, I do love ebooks because they're so convenient. You can literally take them with you anywhere. Not that I can't take my physical books everywhere, but sometimes, like sometimes the books you be reading, they're not public approved all the time. You know what I mean? Like sometimes those book covers give away way too much. And ebooks are so much more discreet. Just, they're just you and your ebook. Nobody needs to know what you're reading. Nobody needs to be seeing the cover. You know what I mean? Like, and then audiobooks. Audiobooks are like, ah, they're just top tier as well. Because if you're an immersive reader like I am, then audiobooks just do something to the chemistry in my brain. You know what I mean? Like they just do something special because they bring your books to life. Like you can actually hear the voices and put a voice to the character. You know what I mean? So like they're all just so great. But if I had to pick one for the rest of my life, it would have to be the physical book, 1,000%. Now, What is your most beautiful book that you haven't read yet? I don't usually, or I don't normally collect like first editions or special editions or anything like that. Um, but I think physically on my shelf, the book that I have that's like gorgeous that I have not read yet, it's gonna be Burning Daylight by Emily McIntyre. It's so cute. It's so colorful. It has the sprayed edges. Like, come on now. You're gonna tell me that that's not the most beautiful book ever? Come on now. The art is also chef's kiss. It's also beautiful. So for me, as of right now, that's the most beautiful one on my shelf physically. That I have also not read. So it's gonna be there for a minute because I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. But yeah, that's the only book I have as of right now. That's a beautiful book. What is a popular book or trope that you actually dislike? Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, because this one can, I don't, so the only reason why I wouldn't like a book is because of the trope, if that makes sense. And in my opinion, tropes that have made me dislike a book have been so far uh it's gonna be either okay, you cannot like say that a book is I don't like with it when an author I read a book a few weeks ago that was The Unwanted Wife, and the book was like, oh, it was, I'm getting all tangled up because it was so frustrating. Okay, so the book was supposed to have primal play. I personally really enjoy a primal play trope. But in this case, I didn't like the book because the trope was done incorrectly. It was not it was not primal play. I did DNF the book at 50%, so maybe I mentioned this in my video in my review video, but maybe I didn't get far enough to see the true primal play come to life. But you can't introduce primal play the way that book introduced primal play. And that made me dislike the book when it's not a true trope. Like it doesn't actually portray the trope the way it's supposed to be. And then there was another book that I read a few months ago. I think the book was the Silver Fox or Silver Fox, something like that. You guys, I'm not even, I'm gonna, if I remember and if I can find it, I will put it into the video. But this trope made me dislike the book, and I feel like maybe in a dark romance it would have worked. Again, I haven't read this trope in a dark romance yet. So again, I don't know if I truly don't like it or if it was because it was done in a like in a contemporary romance book. But the breeding trope, the breeding trope is a no for me in that book. And it made me dislike it because I was like, there's nothing about it. I didn't like anything about it, to be honest. It was a no for me. I was like, what the heck is that? It grossed me out. It gave me the ick. It was a no for me. So the breeding trope and the fake primal play is just a no for me. I've come to that conclusion. That's the only thing that will make me, so far, that is the only thing that will make me dislike a book. We will we will discover more as we continue, okay? Um let's see. Who is your auto buy author? Oh my god. Auto buy, I have so many. I have so many, but if I had to, I can't even pick one. Who am I kidding? Like, who am I lying to? Because I cannot pick one. But I will tell you a few. Definitely my auto buy, Sabrina Kent, absolutely. Anna Huang, absolutely. Elsie Silver, absolutely. Sarah J. Maas, absolutely. Um, Callie Hart, absolutely. Rebecca Yarros, absolutely. I think those, yes. Lay Rivers, Chantel Tessier, Navisa Allen. Ah, so many. Like, how could you pick just one specific person? You know what I mean? One specific author. That's impossible for me. But just to name a few, those would be like my automatic buys for sure, without a doubt. I wouldn't even think about it. I would just buy it. Definitely. How do you organize your bookshelves? My bookshelves are organized by genre. So on this far right-hand side, I have all my contemporary romance, my fluffy romance, my light romance, all the pretty stuff, you know. And then in this small middle one here, I have all my cowboy romance like Elsie Silver and Lila Sage. So those are my, cowboy romance men. And then in this further to the left shelf, I have all my fantasy, romantasy. I even have some mystery in there. I have some historical fiction in there. Um, but mostly fantasy and romantasy. And then on this beautiful shelf over here, I have all my dark romance. My favorite shelf, which seems kind of crazy because obviously my fantasy shelf is more filled, but my dark romance shelf is my favorite. Not even gonna lie. Who am I kidding? Who am I trying to lie to? Because yeah, dark romance is my fave. But that is how they are organized as of right now. I haven't thought about changing it around or anything because I like the way it's set up. I love the way it's set up. So I think I'm gonna keep it like this for a really long time until maybe it fills up and then I have to move some stuff around. But for the most part, love it. I love it. Um, what is the longest book you've ever read? I think the longest book I've ever read so far is gonna be Kingdom of Ash from the Throne of Glass series. Kingdom of Ash was so long and emotionally devastating, traumatizing. It was the most beautiful book ever written, period. Argue with the wall if you must. But that book was also very, very long, and I understand why. It needed to be that long. Honestly, it could have been longer and I would have still read it. But I think that book, because even um A Court of Silver Flames, I think it's like a few chapters shorter than Kingdom of Ash. I could be wrong. I don't remember. I read it such a long time ago. But I think Kingdom of Ash is bigger and longer than A Court of Silver Flames. Yep. But that was the longest book I've read so far. I think Alchemized. No, I don't think I don't think even Alchemized is that long, but I haven't read it yet, so it doesn't count. But so far, I will say Kingdom of Ash, for sure, is the longest one I've read so far. What fictional world would you most want to live in? Oh my God. I think for me, it's gonna be Akatar. Akatar. I think Akatar would be my go-to for fantasy. I couldn't pick dark romance because I don't think I would survive. And for all the other ones, I don't know. They're too emotional for, like, I'm not going to be like, you know, I don't know. I just wouldn't pick the other ones. I feel like it makes more sense to pick a fantasy world, you know? But for me, it would definitely have to be Akatar so that I could live in Valaris in the Night Court, if you know what I mean. That would be my choice, 100%. Terracin wouldn't be too bad though. Terracin I could vibe with, but I feel like I love Valaris more, the Night Court. I feel like I would just live my best life there for sure. Absolutely, without a doubt. Come on now. Let's see. Do you dog ear pages or use bookmarks? Bookmarks. Um, Again, I am nobody, absolutely nobody to tell you how you should be reading your books or what to do with your books. If you want to break the spines, dog ear pages, just throw your book around, uh, do as you please with what you bought. Okay? I am nobody to tell you what you should and shouldn't do with your books that you bought with your own money. Okay? A hot take there. I am nobody to tell you what to do with your books. Unpopular opinion, if you will. I am nobody to tell you what to do with your books that you bought with your own money. So do you, okay? You do you. But I would never. I just could never. And that's just me. That's just me. Every now and then maybe I will break a spine. I know I did that a lot with my Akatar books. They're thick. They were thick. And I think I did it with Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash. And that was recently, just last year. I did break the spine a little. And there's been other books that I've done that with. Um, but again, I that's just me personally. But no, I could not fold my pages like that. That seems wrong. It seems criminal. But again, who am I to judge? You know what I mean? Those are my books that I bought with my money. So I treat them nicely sometimes. You know what I mean? But you do you. Who am I to judge again? You do with your books what you want to do, okay? Again, I'm not gonna judge you here. We don't judge in this corner. We do what we want. because they're our books. We buy them with our own money. And even if we didn't buy them, if they were a gift or if whatever, they're your books, babe. They're your books. So you do with your books what you want, regardless of whether you bought them or they were a gift. They're still yours. So you do as you please. You know what I mean? Argue with the wall, if you will. Let's see. What is your favorite hidden gem book that more people should read? Oh, this one's kind of tough because I feel like I've read a lot of popular books, but there was one that I read recently in January that I feel like I didn't see it a lot. I don't really see it circulating on socials in the book community. And that would be My Funny Demon Valentine by Aurora Ashker, I believe. Um, yeah, that is one, and it's so good too because it has a plot, it has a storyline, it has some spice. It's funny, it's short, it's sweet, it's cute. It's honestly everything you could possibly want from a book. You know what I mean? It's so good. And I don't normally see it. Am I on the wrong side of the book community? Is that what it is? Because I don't see it a lot. And I wish I did because it's so good. It's like when you're looking for that like easy book read to like pick you up after a slump, that's the book you pick up. Like literally that is the book that you pick up. So I don't know why I don't see it enough. You know what I mean? That for me is my hidden gem as of right now. Um, let's see. If you could have dinner with any author, living or dead, who would it be? Definitely a living author. And this one actually is kind of easy for me because and I feel like a lot of you guys are going to agree with me on this one. It would be Sarah J. Maas, because let me tell you, I would use that time to really talk to her and ask her very nicely and maybe, you know, sway her into releasing book 6 quicker and be like, "Hey girl, you got to speed it up. You got to give us what we want." You know what I mean? You got to give the people what they want. And we want book 6 like yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. We need book 6. And if it's Azriel's book, even better. Give us that. Please. Please give us that. You know what I mean? Like, I, I would use that time for that specifically. At this point, you know what? It could be the Surreals book, and I would still read it because I need something. You know what I mean? So we just want book 6. That's all we want. So I really hope she can give us book 6 soon. But I would use my time for that. For sure. Imagine the conversation. That would be such a great conversation to have with Sarah because I would love love to use my time specifically for that. You know? But that would be my one. Next is, what is your biggest bookish pet peeve? This one I had a few. But one that really triggers me sometimes, especially in fantasy, is the love triangles. I cannot, uh, they stress me out, especially if you already know who the protagonist of the book is going to pick, whether it's the FMC or the MMC. If you already know who they're going to end up with, why are you putting them into love triangles? What was the reason? Like what? It's so unnecessary in my opinion. Like sometimes, and then sometimes it drags out. Like why? Now you're just making the poor guy or girl suffer because they're watching them with somebody else. When everybody knows that they're supposed to be together. It's unnecessary suffering all around, in my opinion. Love triangles should be banned. Because what do you mean? Like, no, just give the love interest the chance from the beginning. I get it if like they were dating, like sometimes it makes sense because like you see them like trying to figure out, you know? But even then, like, it just doesn't make sense. Unless it's gonna be where it's like you have like a reverse harem where it's like multiple love interests. But don't make love triangles under the don't put love triangles under that same umbrella. You know what I mean? Like don't disguise it as a reverse harem when it's not. You know what I mean? Like it just does not make sense. It doesn't. It honestly, it really doesn't. So don't do it. I don't like it. um, what book are you currently reading? Ooh. Anyways, this question really just triggered me because honestly, I'm the biggest mood reader you will ever find. Okay, I am. I read what I'm in the mood for. And I started Boys Atonement. I'm on Keeping 13. So currently, physically, my physical book is Keeping 13, which I did pick up again. I'm very happy and I'm very proud of myself for having to pick it up again because I was going through this emotional whirlwind where I put it down and then picked up like four different other books on Kindle, and none of them were satisfying whatever the heck mood I was in. I still don't know what mood I'm in, but I think I'm I'm coming back to my normal self. Okay. I honestly I think I'm coming back to my normal self, and that is why I picked Keeping 13 back up. But I'm also reading a hockey romance by Chelsea Curto, Face Off. I love it. I am loving it so much. If you guys have not read Face Off by Chelsea Curto, go read it because it is the I love Maverick Miller so much. You guys have no idea. That anyways, I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, I have not finished um Face Off yet, so I'm still reading that one. So that one's on Kindle, and then I have Keeping 13, and then on audiobook on audiobook I'm rereading because audiobooks count as books. We've been through this. Okay, we've been through this. Um, I am rereading for like the seventh time God of Wrath by Anna Huang. I just I just can't get enough of that book for some reason. I am fully addicted to that book. it's one of my it's one of Anna Huang's best books. To be in my opinion, my absolute favorite book. Okay? It's my top. I've said this before. My absolute favorite. But that is currently my current reads. What is your most anticipated release for the rest of the year? I think for right now, I have two books that I'm really looking forward to. I don't know if for the rest of the year, because there could be other books that I'm like gonna be looking forward to also, but off the top of my head right now, it's gonna be Tempting Venom by Rena Kent and King of Gluttony by Anna Huang. And obviously they are my auto-buy authors. So of course. And then, oh, actually also one more. Game On by Navisa Allen. I haven't read Caught Up yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to Game On. So that's another one that I'm looking forward to. So yeah, those are the three so far. Those are the three so far. If you could swap lives with one fictional character, who would it be? That is the easiest question ever. Because I would definitely take Vivian Lau's place in King of Wrath by Anna Huang. And not, I, that's just me. That is who I want to be. That is who I choose to be. Because absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, who else would I pick? Of course, I'm gonna pick to be with Dante Russo. You kidding? That's like a non-negotiable for me. That's like I don't even have to think about that. It's just it is what it is. It's my choice. And don't judge me for it because that's not very fair. I don't judge you for your choices. But anyways, that is my 15 question for the bookish questions Q&A. That is it. That is all I have. I had so much fun filming this for you guys, answering these questions so that you guys can get to know me a little bit more. And I'm super excited to go ahead and leave in the questions down below so that you guys can also go ahead and answer them. And then I can also get to know you guys a little bit more as well. But before I leave, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel so that we can go ahead and continue to see where these videos take us. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.